movie Slumdog Millionaire. Yeah, sadly, it's not just a big screen thing. This scenario became all too real in Bangladesh recently. A 7-year-old boy exposing a criminal gang that had been operating for years in Dhaka. Now, our Sarah Seidner covered the story for the CNN Freedom Project, our year-long look at the brutal horrors and shocking prevalence of modern-day slavery. Now, Sarah met a young boy who stood up to a gang who wanted him to beg on the streets, but he paid a heavy price for his defiance.
A father holds his son close, guilt-ridden he couldn't protect his boy from a crime that scarred him for life. Pain, I felt pain, he says. Just 7 years old, he is in police protection. He's the star witness against his alleged attackers, a criminal gang that relies on children for profit. The boy was almost killed for what he knows, so we have to conceal his identity. What did these bad men do to you? They took me into an alley. I didn't want to go, but they snatched me up, and then 4 people tied my hands and legs. They said they would make me beg. I threatened to tell my father and police on them. He says he recognized his captors from the neighborhood. When he refused to beg, the men responded by bashing his head with a brick, slitting his throat and stomach, and the family wants the world to know the men also cut off most of the boy's penis. His frantic mother found him outside in the middle of the night. What did you think when you first saw your son after this incident? I could hardly recognize him because he was so stained with blood, she says. The family went to local police, but the police refused to file a case, saying the dispute was little more than an argument over the father's unpaid bill to a tea seller. It turned out to be much, much more. Investigators say the 7-year-old boy became the key to exposing the inner workings of a criminal gang that for years had been snatching children off the streets, crippling them purposely, and then forcing them to beg. Authorities say the tea seller was associated with that gang. The case was ignored until his father found human rights activist and attorney Alina Khan. Khan agreed to represent the boy and says she has now faced death threats herself. They are terrorists because this is not a small group, she says. Khan went to the courts, and the courts ordered a full investigation. That is when the Rapid Action Battalion began investigating, and within weeks, Bangladesh's elite police force had made arrests. And in front of local media, 2 suspects confessed. That boy started quarreling with us, and I hit him on his head with a brick. Then my brother said to cut his penis, and immediately I cut it. After that, he cut his chest and belly. Then we held his head and cut his throat, he says. The suspect said the gang routinely disfigured children to increase profits because pity pays. Police say people give more to maimed children. Sometimes after kidnapping the children, they hide them inside vessels for 5-6 months and give them very little food and water. Because of the nutrition deficiency, they become lean and sick. Then they send them out to beg, he says. In the confession, the suspect said each child brings in about $7 a day. Of that, the handler takes about $3 and the ringleader almost $4, leaving pennies for the child to buy food. This just sounds evil.
This is really cruel. I have no word to explain or express my feelings about the injury with this small little boy, 7 years. This is really, really unbelievable. And that is why we're so serious about this matter.
Authorities say there are several other children still in the remaining gang members' possession who have not been found. In 2009, the government banned begging, and a year later added 3 years jail for those caught forcing anyone to beg. But human rights advocates say enforcement is lax. On our trip, we saw many children in the streets begging, some disabled and clearly afraid of being filmed. In South Asia, it's a common belief that child beggars you see on the street are run by gangs. But authorities say because of one brave little boy, they now have proof in Bangladesh. What should happen to these men? I want them to be hanged. I demand they be hanged, he says. A demand from a little boy who at just 7 years old has the scars to remind him just how cruel the world can be. Sarah Seidner, CNN, Dhaka, Bangladesh.